Lewis.
This is Alex.
And this is The Drop. How do we start this?
This is Alex, this is Lewis, and this is The Drop.
All right, ready?
Yeah.
1, 2. Now, number 3, because our last one was a bonus. Number 3 is surround yourself with dreamers.
Yeah.
Right? And what I mean by that is people that have goals and people that can unite or join you in your goals. Okay? The paralyzed man needed to get to Jesus. That was his goal. That was his dream. Why? Because he wanted to be healed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? In order for that to happen, he needed these 4 men to join him in this vision or in this goal that he had. Okay? So sometimes we surround ourselves with people that will make us do everything else but our goal, right? And we're working hard, right? And they have positive attitudes, but we are investing it in all the wrong things. We're not investing in the things that are actually destined for us or the goals that we already have in place, right? So we are wasting all this energy, right? But we're wasting it in other things that are not getting us any closer to our goal.
Wow.
Right?
That's good.
And what happened? And the reason why that happens is the people that we're surrounded with, right? We are too busy joining everyone else's dream and no one is joining our dream. Okay? Because I feel like as much as we're saying that to surround yourself, right? We also become people that we are surrounding others. So
Right.
we become part of the 4 for someone else.
That's good.
Right? So, but we can't always just do that. We need people to surround us as well. Right? So in this case, with the dream, with the goal, right? This paralyzed man needed these four men to join him in his goal and his dream, right? We need to surround ourselves with people that are going to invest in us, right? That if we have a business idea, if we have whatever idea it is, we want to invest in a stock or in a company or whatever, you know, there's so many goals. We want to go to law school. We need people to join us in that. We need people to support us in that dream and that goal.
That's good. I like that. And you said something talking about investment. When, you know, sometimes you can make an investment and you may not get a return on it. Sometimes you can put in, and I think I relate that to that. That you have to be wise in who you are investing into and who's investing into you. Because I believe that, you know, just because someone's investing into you doesn't mean that that's what you're gonna do. You know, there was a season in my life where I wanted to invest into something. I wanted to. Not many people know this. I wanted to open up a company, but it wasn't necessarily what God was calling me to do.
Okay.
It wasn't necessary, and it sounds good. Oh man, you're gonna do a company. You're gonna do something on a small business, and you're gonna make money and support your family. Break out of that mentality of that poverty mentality, 9 to 5 mentality. And no, I'm not knocking the 9 to 5. You know, I'm just saying, but it wasn't what God was calling me to do. So I began to invest into something that wasn't necessarily connected to my calling. I don't want to cause tension with people's beliefs or anything, but imagine, you said something so good. Imagine, you know, they had to want to bring him to Jesus so he can become healed and walk again, right?
Right.
What if you know, he knew that he wanted to walk again. What if they would have went and wanted, you know, some different type of miracle? What if they said, hey man, just be grateful that your arms are moving, forget about walking, right? He's like, no, I want the full healing. So I think in life, if you don't really focus or really seek God and pray of what you are looking for, you may be someone that's investing into someone that, or the other way around, into something that you're not really meant to do. Think about Job. You got the who's your for with people that brought him to get healed. You had Job that had friends that gave him probably the worst advice ever.
Forget God, curse you God.
Yeah, they were he had friends. That's cool. Like Job had friends that on paper is like, man, it's like, what did you do? You must have sinned.
Yeah.
That all this is happening. In the beginning of the story, it says, no, Job was righteous, and God permitted these things to happen to him. And if he would have listened to his friends, they would have invested it and caused him to do something that was ultimately not his destiny. And I think that's sometimes a little dangerous when, you know, I have many people tell me, man, you should do this, you should do that. And you know, I had somebody tell me the couple, like about a year ago, man, I don't know about this whole preaching, teaching thing for you, man. You just stick to music.
Oh,
Not in
wow.
a bad way, but in like, man, you don't play as much. And
Okay.
so it's like, wow, if I would have listened to that, and then, they weren't with me from the beginning, and then them not realizing that before God gave me a skill on the keyboard, He gave me a voice to talk.
That's good,
And,
yeah.
and anyway, I like that. Dreamers, man. Dreamers.
I don't necessarily mean to, I don't want to like completely sidetrack or go to a whole different topic, but you're talking about investment, and something that came to mind is I don't know if you heard of I hope I'm saying this correctly. If I'm not, you guys will forgive me. But it's the fallacy of sunken cost, right? If I'm saying it correctly, right?
The right one's going to be under here somewhere if we don't get it right.
But the meaning of that is basically saying when you continue to invest in something just because you've already invested in it, right? So you see it not working, you see it not growing, but you continue to invest in it because you've already spent so much time in it. Sometimes we invest into the relationships and to people that are around us thinking that everything is going to turn out good, especially love relationships, right? The girl or the guy has done cheated and has done everything they can possibly do under the sun to you, but because you've been with that person for 5 years, 6 years, 3 years, you continue to invest your time, you continue to invest your love simply because of the time that has passed, right? So sometimes you have to know when to call it quits and say, you know what, I'm done with this relationship, or I'm done surrounding myself with this type of group or this group of people that keeps taking energy away from me, that don't work hard, that don't have any dreams, that are always negative, that are making me do things that I shouldn't be doing, right? So I'm done with this, regardless of the years that we have together, regardless of the time that we spent together, or even the memories that we have, right? I don't know if we spoke about this in one of our previous episodes, but the story with Abram and his nephew Lot, right? Because although Abraham and Lot, they were together, that was his nephew, they were together for many years and they made some money and they became wealthy together, right. There came a point in their life where they had to split, right? So Lot had to go one way and Abraham had to go the other way. They couldn't continue to be together because they were having issues, right? Their workers were having issues. So sometimes you just have to know and say, you know what, I'm done with this relationship. I love you and you're cool and all, but you're going to have to go your way and I'm going to go my way, right? But people sometimes fail to realize that point they automatically think, oh, we've been together for so many years.
But think about this, man. They had to pick two different ways to go. Where did Abraham go? Do you remember that part?
He went to the side that he didn't pick, the opposite way.
That didn't look so
good, right,
prosperous.
Right.
And I think some people, this is good, they prefer to live in misery than to go back and start over. Some people are afraid to go back and start over and say, you know what, I've invested way too much here, and this looks, I can't go back. I've heard people tell me, like, man, I can't start over. I've reached a certain age. If I don't know what to do. I don't know how to date again. I don't know how to talk to a person of the opposite sex. I don't know how to do that anymore. It's been so long. So they prefer to live here because this looks more fruitful instead of going back and starting over. That's
good. That was good. That was hot. But it's so true. But you gotta know when to call it quits. That's it. Regardless, listen. Not everything that you invest in is gonna prosper, right? If you invested and you thought it was gonna be something else, and it's not that at this point in your life, then call it quits. That's it. You're done with it, right? But that's the fallacy of the second cost. If I'm saying it correctly, is that you keep investing into something that, although it has no promise, although it's not good for you, you just keep doing it because of the time or the money that you've already invested.
That's good. That's real good, man.
So, all right. So going back to the story.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. I love it. I love it.
With the 4 men and the paralyzed man, right? They pick this man up, the paralyzed man. They start their journey to go to where Jesus was at. There's an important detail, and I'm going to explain it to you briefly. When they get to where Jesus was at, right? Jesus was in some house. Right? It doesn't say whose house. There's some house, right? Something I mentioned at the very beginning was that Jesus was very popular during this time for the miracles and stuff like that, right? So it didn't take long before the place got packed, wherever Jesus was at.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So the house was packed. There was no way to get in. I mean, it was so packed there was people outside of the house.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So not only was the interior of the house full, but the exterior was full too. Right? Now you have these 4 men with the 5th man that's paralyzed.
Yeah.
Right? They're carrying him. There's no way to enter. There's no way to get to Jesus. Right? And this kind of goes to the point that we was finished discussing about dreamers. Because people that dream are people with vision and people with new ideas.
Yeah.
Okay? These 4 men, because they were dreamers, right? They came up with a bright idea and they said, listen, we can't go in through the door, right? Can't go in through the windows, right? But I think that if we climb the house, we can enter through the roof.
That's good.
It takes a dreamer, it takes a visionary to see that,
That's
right?
good.
Someone with a new idea, okay? So they take this man, somehow, some way they came up with whatever they needed to come up with to get this paralyzed man on top of the house, regardless of how packed it was, okay? And they said, you know what, through the roof, we're gonna make a hole, we're gonna make an opening. Can I say that this wasn't their house? It was not their house. But because they were so driven,
Right.
and they had a goal, and they had such a positive attitude, they was not going to let the group of people that were there stop them from getting this paralyzed man, to get to Jesus, which was his goal. Okay? Again, all of this relates to the previous points we said. People that work hard, people with positive attitude, and people that are dreamers, people that have big vision, people that have
Right.
goals. They get to the house, they open it up, and the story says that they start dropping the man through this opening until he gets to the feet of Jesus.
Make sure you tune into our next episode as we continue with Who's Your For.
This is The Drop.